In interview after interview, Lisa Nandy endorses the Olympic conspiracy theories. I think it's safe to say that the UK's Culture Secretary needs to resign. So, to catch you up, there is an organization called the International Boxing Association, the IBA. Its president, Umar Kremlev, who's the CEO, Secretary General, and also canceled elections, so he's basically going to be that position forever, is a Russian guy who took over the organization a few years ago. Almost immediately after, he signed an exclusive deal with Gazprom to bring in that Russian state oil money, and then proceeded to try to ban the Ukrainian Federation from participation. And this got him in, hot water with the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and basically their organization got banned and a bunch of countries pulled out after people were saying that he was trying to fix the qualifications for the 2024 Olympics, as in this Olympics. So basically Umar is super big mad that he's not allowed to be part of the Olympics anymore, and has been kicking off a rumor he tried to start a year ago that two women are not actually women. And the IOC had to issue a ruling on this and has repeatedly said that, the IBA has no jurisdiction here. They're a banned organization. These people have qualified. They are who they say they are. We've done all the tests. Everything is fine. Like, there's literally no controversy here. So Umar attempts again to push this conspiracy, posts it to Telegram. It gets picked up by the Russian right, then it gets pulled into the international right, and then it gets pulled into the TERF world, the gender critical crowd. And then in the UK, it gets spread by people like Tracy Edwards, who have a big audience already. But if you look at that retweet, that's Rosie Duffield, a Labour MP, who is the queen of the gender criticals in the Labour Party, and a figure in her own right, and best friends with J.K. Rowling. And here we got mainstream politicians. The media picks it up. It's being written about in the Telegraph, all from the messages from a disgraced Russian official's Telegram chat. Like, it's nuts. It is one of the wildest things I've seen. But here we go. And then it became a conspiracy theory about violence against women, and that they are legalizing men fighting women in the Olympics. It continued to spiral and spiral. And more of the transphobic MPs started coming out of the woodwork, buying in on this conspiracy. Again, based on absolutely nothing. And this exact same activity was happening in other countries and other languages. This is just what is happening in the UK. And you see it's bringing everyone out of the woodwork, if you know these names, like Naomi Wolf or Graham Linehan. The other day, the Prime Minister Keir Starmer talked about the need to go after people who boost far-right narratives. This is an editor from the Telegraph doing exactly that. And the grift is so transparent in this conspiracy that it is painful that they do not see this. I, for one, think that sitting ministers and MPs need to be able to tell fact from fiction. At this point, they are falling for an easy piece of Russian disinformation boosted so quickly around every part of the information space, on every level of government. That is a failure that could be a magnitude worse if it was something critical and dangerous that could affect people's lives, or many people's lives. Right now, we just have two women being horrifically abused by a significant part of the world's establishment. And why? Because people fell for a lie, fell for disinformation, and that, for me, is disqualifying. We are in a time of danger. And we have people believing this while they're falling for lies by people, grifters, right-wing grifters, who are trying to sell products, who are trying to brand build off of controversy. They are aligning themselves instead of incredible, powerful women like Lin Yu-ting, who learned boxing to defend her mother from her abusive father. That is the people they are choosing to have demonized, to endorse conspiracy theories around people sending hate and death threats towards them. That is not okay. You should be able to tell what is real and not real. As Stephen Doyle says, this is bullying on a worldwide scale. Something is very dangerous when the UK's Labour Party is aligning with fascist publications like Redux. This is an incredibly damaging and dangerous thing, especially when you are trying to confront the far right, as Keir Starmer says is now a priority. And the minister and MPs should be aware of how images like this are instantly used to justify incredible bigotry towards not just these two individual women, but for everyone. This is what is enabling so much hate, because they cannot understand how these things are linked together and how clearly this draws forward things in a networked world like we have. Does Labour align with Umar Kremlev, or does it actually represent a progressive vision for the UK and world? And why does Labour continue to share the beliefs and trans policies of people like Elon Musk, libs of TikTok, Kelly J. Keane, Logan Paul, and sofa seducer J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate for the Republican Party in the United States? Because Imani Khalif did not deserve this. So maybe politicians like Lisa Nandy and Rosie Duffield should listen to people who literally fought Imani, like Amy Broadhurst, and won, when she says Imani is not cheating. And she has literally fought and beaten her before. This is the ridiculousness of this whole debate, the conspiracy Lisa Nandy has been endorsing. It's been less than a month since the Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy promised that the era of culture wars was over. But I did not realize this meant that we just started a brand new era of culture wars. And I question what logic MPs like Anna Turley, also from Labour, used to determine that this was factual when all they had to go off of was posts. That's it. But maybe I'm asking a lot from Labour. But at minimum, I expect them to do a little bit better than far-right politician and the literal granddaughter of Mussolini, Alessandra Mussolini, who said, "The woman does not cry in retreat, but fights and wins. Do you know how many women in many dangerous circumstances would like to be like the Algerian athlete? Myself included." It is shocking that Labour has a more reactionary position than the grandchild of Mussolini. Come on now. But if you think I'm being a bit too harsh, listen to the culture minister yourself.
On whether or not Iman Khalif should be allowed to compete as a woman in the boxing after what we saw yesterday.
Well, I found it very uncomfortable viewing. I think as many people did. The match itself lasted for only 46 seconds. And I'm out here in Paris right now. I know that there are concerns amongst women competitors about the balance between fairness, inclusion and safety, not just in boxing, but in other sports as well. We've always rightly said, successive governments have said, that it's not a matter for governments, it's a matter for sporting bodies. But there is a role here for government in making sure that they've got the guidance and the support necessary to get the right balance between those three elements. And it's something that I'll be talking to all of the sporting bodies about as we move forward over the next few weeks and months.
But your position remains it's up to the sporting bodies. So if they think it's fine what we saw yesterday, then that's fine with you.
Well, no, because they have to account for the decisions that they make, and we have to make sure that those concerns about safety and fairness are addressed. Those concerns have obviously been very heightened by what we've seen in the last 48 hours, and I know that that's a concern that many women competitors have. So no, my position is not that it's just a matter for sporting bodies, and if they say it's fine, then it's fine. My position is that we need to support those sporting bodies to make the right decision, recognising that biology matters, and biology matters particularly when it comes to sports like boxing. I think one of the reasons that people are very, very alarmed by what they saw on their screens over the last 48 hours, particularly in this match, is that boxing is a very physical sport, and in very physical sports, biology obviously has a huge impact, and that has to be taken into account.